Jesus Christ, I am so sorry about that. Sorry about that. I had a little malfunction with the camera, but as I believe I was continuing on, it's funny how in sports, and sports is the one profession that we had just chosen. Maybe it's a combination of that's what people are interested in seeing. We want to know. I mean, I'm interested. I've watched every fucking playoff game. Like, obviously, I am invested in this shit. And it's the, like, no one's sitting out here looking at every move that some CEO of fucking Greyhound truck company is doing. No one gives a fuck. But I guarantee they get paid yearly just as much as NBA players. CEO of Greyhound, I'm highly doubtful that their salary is public. Salaries can be made public if you want to, but when you work for companies, they're not mandatory. But sometimes they'll purposely put it out because it's kind of good for business in a weird way. I read that in some once, don't quote me. But what I'm saying, when I'm combining these ways of the way we look at sports, I just find it very, very, very interesting that we hold athletes to such scrutinization, because it's like the one part where you feel like you can control the actions of someone that you feel is above you. So it's like, even though they make all this money and they play a sport they love, it's like this weird thing as observers and spectators and fans that's like, we want to critique every word they say every time someone doesn't succeed that day at the game or that period, or they choke and they're not clutch and all this bullshit. They have all these qualities that they did amazing, but we're going to pick the one fucking thing. Then that's how you have the Skip Baylesses just hating on LeBron for no fucking reason. Like, at some point, I don't care what people say, man. At some point, there's something personal. There's this personal thing that, for example, the Skip Baylesses of the world, where it's this irrational pedestal. Not pedestal, because it's quite the opposite. It's this irrational expectation you have of athletes, and feels like that regular work environments in the actual world, and we try to connect them to sport locker room stuff, right? Like, we could say, oh, it's about showing up it's just about coming in, punching the clock, clocking out. It's like that. That's not how it works, though. You got, like, there are just certain things in NBA, NFL, they get essentially half the year off. Like, you got to understand, like, that's not normal. But that's something that their profession is able to provide, because the value they make in 6 months supersedes that. I don't know where I was going with this. Essentially, it's just starting to get really annoying to watch people just want to fucking shit on every little thing that these people that are accomplishing these great things in the history books and things that we have such a heavy interest in. But for some reason, we feel we have the right to tell athletes what they should or shouldn't be doing. And for people that say, oh, well, we pay for it. We pay the ticket for them to play. It's like, well, if we're going to go by that logic, who pays for your salary? Who pays for your pay? Does that mean every person that comes into wherever you work, does that mean they get to just throw sweet tea bottles at you, throw some peak teas hit up your forehead just because technically they pay it. Your wage is coming from somewhere. It's probably a combination of what the store makes that day, and then they spread it out on profits, and they split it between employees. Like, there's all of this comes through somewhere. And it's just, it doesn't make sense to me why people feel like they have such a possession over decisions and a possession over people's every little actions just because they're athletes. I'm not doing this whole thing to feel bad for athletes, because a lot of them are able to afford a great life, and I understand that. But I also still don't understand why people feel like you can control what they do. I don't know. Anyways, I shaved. I have a nice little smack in the face. I remember one time I was at a movie theater with a young lady, because I think young lad is actually meant young lady with a Y. It's amazing how one letter can change the whole fucking meaning. It can mean I'm straight, or it can mean I'm pansexual. I actually learned the difference between quote-unquote bisexual and pansexual, and it's going to come off a certain way. Look, man, pansexual is really just bisexual. It's just the reason why you may be interested in a man or a woman are just kind of could be different than someone else. It's like you're still bisexual. It's just as a pansexual, you just don't see gender, and everything's on the personality, which is like, yeah, there's straight people that don't really care about looks, and they care about personality as well. It's kind of elitist mentality to make it like pansexuals above being any other, but hey, respect. I do feel like we have created, just a side note, I really feel like sexualities is pretty simple. I think, in my opinion, there should be like, I guess, 4, well, maybe 5, I guess. There should be straight, heterosexual, lesbian, gay, lesbian. You can either combine those or not. If you want to separate for woman, it doesn't really matter. Asexual, which just means that you don't do anything sexually with anyone outside of yourself, or you're just not into any sexual movements or touching or thoughts. The THOTS. Wild thoughts. Damn, Brianna. What were you mean by wild thoughts? Was she really talking about thoughts, or was she talking about thoughts? And heterosexual, homosexual. Well, I guess the sexualities. Let me start over. We got hetero, homo, and bisexual. And there's just a lot of other sexual. Oh, and transsexual, I guess. That's probably right. I think those are like the main 5. Every other things are just like subgenres. Like you have rock. You have like hard rock, classic rock, alt rock, pop rock, punk rock. Like punk rock is probably like pansexuals, because pansexuals kind of look like punk rock. It's just, I really feel like a lot of like sexualities are kind of just like subgenres. Like it feels like we're, like if you look at the difference between a pansexual and a bisexual is literally just what you're looking for when you're finding a mate or you're finding a partner. It's like, so your bisexual is just what you look for from a partner is a little bit different, but you would still either be with a guy or a girl. I don't know. It's almost like we're trying to make ourselves, it's kind of like we're trying to create things for ourselves to make ourselves. I don't want to use the word feel more important because we're all important in a way. All sexuality should be important. It's almost like we're trying to say, no, being a pansexual is better than being a bisexual. It's like, then now you go on like TikTok and Instagram, and the reason why I'm bringing this up because it's like now the subgenre sexualities are fighting against each other. I'm not even being funny here. Like, this is what's actually fucking happening. They're fighting against each other. And it's really like, damn. Like, heterosexuals and gay people are just back here like, oh, well, damn, that took a turn. You got pansexuals that, have nose rings. Got like that horse ring where it looks like an engagement ring, but around your navel. And then they probably pierce their butt cheeks. And they typically have really, really bright hair. Like bright pink, bright green, bright orange. I know. I watched the video earlier. And I was watching a video about this dude reviewing a lot of this stuff. And all the examples, like these TikTok videos where, the girls were explaining pansexual, like thinking they're like educating people, like they're breaking news here. It's like, okay, cool. It's like, cool. Like, it just seems like they're trying to really, really find variations of the same thing. Like permutations, I guess, of the same sexuality. It's really just like, it's like there's the main five that I explained. They're the top: hetero, homo, trans, bi, and hetero. I don't know if I mentioned hetero, but whatever. The five core that I named before. The five core that I named before. We're about to get sexy. And then pansexual is just a stem of bisexual. I don't think it should be like a whole different category. It's like a variation of bisexual. But now it's like this war to like individualize every little thing where it's like, well, the only difference between this sexuality and that sexuality is just what I look for in the sex that I'm looking for. Like, one, it could be strictly your looks, and one, it could be strictly your personality, and I don't care what your gender is. It's like, cool. But, that maybe that just means you have different things you look for in someone. I know I'm thinking out loud here. I know I'm ignorant as hell because I don't apply to any of these groups or nothing like that. But hey, I respect you. Shout out to Courtney. Shout out to Eric. Yeah, Eric. Yeah, shout out to Eric. And shout out to anyone else that are part of those communities. Keep living your truth. Speaking of truth, I pulled my calf today. And when I pulled my calf, I said, holy cow. I really milked that injury. And then after I milked it, I sucked it like a cat being neutered. And then I felt new to her. She never looks at me the same now. Is she the one? Probably not. If she says I love you, she's probably just wondering why you haven't said it back. 'Cause you're a fucking pussy. And that's why she's with my grandfather. Wow, that buried the hatchet. And speaking of Ratchet and Clank. Can I clank your boot tonight? Oh, no, you can't, but you can. Tell me what you like. I really wonder. This is just a random fucking thought that came in my head. Is space, like space, the one that NASA and SpaceX goes to when they accomplish their missions half the time. Why would you want to be one of those people that pay for, like, in case the world were to end, and you can pay, like, SpaceX or whatever, you could pay for basically a seat on a rocket ship to go to space? You realize when you get up to space, what are you going to do? You think, what, you really think like this fucking machine is just going to float in space for the next 55 years of your life and you're going to be eating some dehydrated Planters nuts? They're probably going to have like some fridge that's going to have dry, like all this. Maybe it'll be like one of those like was it Zoe 101 where they just had the fucking microwave and you press a button and you didn't have to put anything. It would just come out. Whatever you put. Popcorn, boom, comes out. Roast beef, comes out. Chicken Parmesan, comes out. Like, what if that microwave fucking breaks? What are you going to do? Go outside? Eat a rock? I don't even know if you can eat fucking rocks. There's probably chemicals in there that would kill your body. Or would it strengthen it? Who knows? If it's in fucking space, it should make you stronger. It should fucking make your immune system like rock hard, no pun intended. And then, you can fly like a bird. Even though that's not the word of that song. But I was not even going to push the envelope there. But I am going to watch Space Jam 2. It does look a little too cartoonish. I did see the commercial. See, here's the thing that made Space Jam 1 work so well. My friend says that LeBron's a terrible actor. I disagree. I think LeBron's a pretty decent actor. Like, here's the thing, though. The first Space Jam, it was like the perfect integration. It was like the perfect balance of the Looney Tune land, and, Earth. It was like the perfect balance. Like, where it seems like this one, it seems like most of it's in Looney Tune land. Probably not even Looney Tune land, but whatever the cartoonish world's going to be. I think the opponents are called the Goon Squad. It's a little disappointing, not going to lie to you. Waited, what's it been, like 22 years for this Space Jam? And Goon Squad is what you come up with? Come on, man. And they're taking away, like, Petty Le Pew? The fucking horny skunk? Yeah, he's been really spreading that nay air all around. And they caught on. Now he's canceled. And they're canceling him? Are they canceling the fucking rabbit? They're canceling the fucking rabbit and the fucking bald dude because, violence. Even though he never actually catches the fucking rabbit. It just seems like we're... Like, I don't really talk about cancel culture because I really think, like, a lot of people overblow it. Everyone that people say are canceled, it seems like they're still talking and they're very relevant in society otherwise. Because I still hear from a lot of people that are quote-unquote canceled. So I don't even think really cancel culture is really in effect. I think it's like this temporary mark on whatever it is that you did to get canceled. And then it blows over time and then people move on. I think it's just the idea has stemmed over people's minds so much. It's not really cancel culture. It's really just temporary emotion culture. And there's certain things you should get canceled for, like, I don't know, drugging 40 women. You probably should. But I wouldn't be surprised if, like, if he gets out of jail and then, like, HBO Max is like, hey, we just did a Friends reboot. They're all old and shit. Trying to get one more in, Bill? And he just might say yes. If he says yes, you know what I'm going to do? I'm probably going to watch it. Because you know what? maybe they'll be a more mature version of the Cosby Show. The same way that they did could you imagine Lisa Bonet now on that show? Oh God. Whew. Because when she was on that show before, I think she was like, what, 5 or 6? She was like a child actor. Now it's going to be like all these creeps, like the ones that have been hiding in the bushes, no pun intended, for Billie Eilish until she turned like 18 and started wearing like, clothes that girls wear. And all of a sudden they're coming out of the bushes and beating off to her fucking tank top breasts. It's like, hey, she just says she's 18. You might want to check the birth certificate out there, you horny little fucks. But it's going to be like that for Lisa Bonet, sorry. Except she actually has like a couple kids and was married to Lenny Kravitz. And it's going to be goddamn, she is so fucking hot though. I can't lie to you. It's a combination of like her, like, I'm not into open relationships, but she seems like the person I could be in an open relationship with. I could do it. She just has this thing about her. It's like this calm, cool, and it's almost like she would be that girl that you would be in an open relationship with, but you would never actually follow through with the open relationship part. Because since the option is there, we always want to tell ourselves to do the opposite of what we're told to do. It's like, no, you have all the freedom. We're like, well, I don't want freedom. I just want you. And then she's going to take advantage of her freedom, but you're not. Because you wish it wasn't there to begin with. God damn. Shout out Lisa Bonet. But yeah, Space Jam. And also, it doesn't even look, it's not even just like it's cartoonish. Like, even the humans that are supposed to be humans, it seems like they're going to be predominantly cartoon. They're going to be predominantly, the Goon Squad. I don't even know if they'll be the opposition. But, like, Chris Paul's in it, so that should be good. No, I don't know if Chris Paul's in it. He should be in it. Klay Thompson's in it. Should be interesting, a little dichotomy there. Can I get a little moody for the booty? Then I'll take it to fruity right there on your birthday. I don't even know if you want it, but I know if you see it, you can get it, you can butt it, you can never go home, and you can never say nothing. I remember when I bought I really need to get a nice studio. Not anything special. Like, maybe like a background. Maybe one where it's, there's not this little thing there. One where my closet's not in the way, waiting for me to come out of it. Even though I just went off on all the subgenres of that. It would be a very improper joke. Oh, here's why. This reminds me. So, have you guys ever heard of this thing called Succubus? Succubus. It's almost like suck a bitch, but it's bis. Succubus. So, about a couple months ago, I was talking to, shout out to Courtney at the Dunkin'. She's pretty well knowledge on a lot of this, underworld stuff, accessing certain aspects of life, let's just say. So I don't know why, I was talking about Ouija boards with her, right? I think I made a joke how you can literally go online, like, you can go, they don't sell it in Targets anymore, but I remember I've seen it in Targets. They may not do anymore, but you'd be surprised how regular stores you could get a fucking Ouija board. I'm pretty sure they're still not that hard to get. But you can easily get one online if all hell breaks loose. No pun intended. I wonder if when they come from the underworld, if they were trying to adapt to the current environment, would they get a Snapchat? Because they would perfect what ghost means. But neither here nor there. So we were talking about Jesus. Come on, Clint. So we were talking about Ouija. Yeah, we were talking about Ouija boards and shit and access and shit. I was always taught growing up, don't fuck with that shit. Mom's like, don't fuck with that shit in my house, and don't fuck with it. Just don't do it. There's no need to. If you're curious, just watch a fucking movie. That's all you need. But she is basically, she sometimes accesses. Not the bad. She doesn't do the Ouija board thing specifically, but she does certain rituals to where she can reach outside of herself, let's just say. I'm scared. I feel like I should whisper when I say this because they may be here. Ooh. But, so she was talking about, she basically, she's only have friendly interactions for the most part, right? But I was like, and she brought up this one named Succubus. Wow. I'm scared. I'm honestly scared to fucking talk about this. I'm not even fucking joking. Things got really quiet. And this whole fucking mood in this room changed. Holy shit. But we were talking about it, and well, she was telling me, I was like, what the hell? That's a really fucking cool name. And she said, it's not one you want to access. I said, well, I don't think any of them. She's like, yeah. See, this is one of those where when you access certain parts of the underworld and shit, it's one of those that you don't mean to. But when you open portals and it's like dipping your hand in a hot tub and you didn't check before, there could be a snake from the previous visitor of the Airbnb. But they just put the cape over it and you come in there, checking the water, next thing you know, my hand. Because that's what you do when you access. That's why the shit's dangerous. That's why you don't fuck with it unless you know what the fuck you're kind of doing. And even then, shit can happen. So, Succubus is essentially a sex demon. And I'm like, sex demons. Sounds kind of hot. I had a girl one time. Like when you're talking to a girl and you're dirty talking, for lack of a better word. And, we all, men and women, we always over-exaggerate, how crazy we are. And she always referred to herself. She kept referring to herself as a sex demon. She said one time, this guy called me a sex demon. I was like, did he? She's like, yeah. I was like, why did he call you a sex demon? Were you just hateful in bed? Did you actually make his life miserable? Because that's what demons do. They make your life miserable. Shouldn't you want to be a sex angel? That's why I like the Victoria's Secret. They wear like the angel shit. Playboy. Little angel. Little bunny. Bunny is like the shape of an angel. Bunny is a representative of an angel. She said no. She's like, I'm the sex freak. And I'm like, all right, whatever. Never had sex with her. Turned me off. And she didn't want to have sex with me anyways because I told her I pray for her. And so Courtney was telling me, I was taking what she was saying seriously because it is a serious thing. It's something serious to her, but I had a lot of questions. And I was trying not to be funny, but I ended up cracking jokes about it. Saying, she's like, basically, when you access Succubus, it haunts you for the rest of your life. And it sucks the energy and drains it all out of you. And basically when you're... God damn, this shit's scary to talk about. Footsteps were just above me. And when you try to sleep, it will keep you up all night by literally fucking the shit out of you. I'm not even being funny when I say this. This is her exact words. It will basically fuck the life out of you nonstop. It's like, yeah, it's sex for 6 hours. And then you can't even operate in daily life, and it fucks up your life in all facets because you never have energy. You can never sleep, and typically you die by exhaustion, or people typically commit suicide. Like, there's actual cases of this shit. All the way, there's cases from like the 1800s and shit. This shit's like kind of fucking scary. And of course I'm like, well, so you're saying I can have an excuse to be tired all the time, even though I already am. But at least now, if I'm tired, it could be because I'm getting sucked off for 5 hours a night. Sounds like not a bad trade-off. If you're already struggling with sleep, if you're already struggling with your will to live, if you're already struggling with energy during the day, your testosterone maybe is getting a little lower. I don't know what y'all's situation is. Maybe you guys are, just struggling for, intensity. But at least now, you have an excuse you can convince yourself that makes sense. I mean, suck me dry all you want, Succubus. I shouldn't say it like that. Jesus Christ, I'm a fucking idiot. What if I summon it? Said the only way you can't just say it and it'll summon. It's not like one of those mirror demon things where you say the name 3 times in the mirror and the next thing you know, it's right there. I'm not even going to repeat it because I don't know if it's true, but I'm not going to find out. I will say the whole energy and vibe of this room has completely changed, and to remind you, I am the only one home, and I am actually kind of fucking scared. If this is my last podcast, just know I put the greatest 15 episodes ever in the history of mankind, or ghost kind, because, that's how it ghosts sometimes. Neck. Ow! Bazinga! That's a big bang I want to put a theory on. I realize I haven't even been looking to the camera for half this. Who fucking cares? But yeah, basically it sucks the life out of you. It drains you. So yeah, go look it up because I'm not talking about it anymore. I'm scared. I'm not wearing socks because it's just the end of the month. And you guys, I actually update on my life. I go back to work on July 2nd. That is Friday. I'm recording this on July 1st, technically at 2:06 a.m. Oh, shout out to the Suns, by the way. Shout out to the Suns making it to the finals. Chris Paul is really he's becoming one of my favorite players. I don't understand how come during his whole career he wasn't one of my favorite players. I always respected him, never had anything against him, but playing with the Clippers and the Rockets, he just kind of got lost in it. But it's hard to see what he's doing this year, and even with Oklahoma City, if you really watch the game and follow it, it's really hard to watch what he's been doing and not be happy for him. The dude's the real deal in all facets, man. Shout out to Chris Paul. All right. I'm going to top that off there before Succubus does. What a fucking idiot I am. All right. Go follow the TikTok and Instagram and the Snap. Oh, go subscribe to the Tube. I've been doing side piece poetry if you want to throw a little side like in there if you like what you see or hear. All right. Have a great day and suck some titties. Ooh. I want to know why. Ooh.